you somebody who is very fond of complaining? Nothing seems to go right and you're always vocalizing your frustration. Today I'll be telling you why you need to nip it in the bud. Let your light so shine. My name is Monica and I'm so glad to have you here with me. Today I'll be talking about complaining. Are you somebody who is very fond of complaining? Nothing seems to go right and you're always vocalizing your frustration. Today I'll be telling you why you need to nip it in the bud. My passage for today is Exodus 16 verses 2 to 18. Please get your Bibles and let us look at this passage together. Then the whole congregation of the children of Israel complained against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Israel said to them, "All that we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the pots of meat and when we ate bread to the full. For you have brought us out into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain quota every day, that I may test them, whether they will walk in my law or not. And it shall be on the 6th day that they shall prepare what they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily." Then Moses and Aaron said to all the children of Israel, "At evening you shall know that the Lord has brought you out of the land of Egypt. And in the morning you shall see the glory of the Lord, for he hears your complaints against the Lord. But what are we that you complain against us?" Also Moses said, "This shall be seen when the Lord gives you meat to eat in the evening, and in the morning bread to the full. For the Lord hears your complaints which you make against him. And what are we? Your complaints are not against us, but against the Lord." Then Moses spoke to Aaron, "Say to all the congregation of the children of Israel, come near before the Lord, for he has heard your complaints." Now it came to pass, as Aaron spoke to the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that they looked towards the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in the cloud. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "I have heard the complaints of the children of Israel. Speak to them, saying, At twilight you shall eat meat, and in the morning you shall be filled with bread, and you shall know that I am the Lord your God." So it was that quails came up at evening and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay all around the camp. And when the layer of dew lifted, there on the surface of the wilderness was a small round substance, as fine as frost on the ground. So when the children of Israel saw it, they said to one another, "What is it?" For they did not know what it was. And Moses said to them, "This is the bread which the Lord has given you to eat. This is the thing which the Lord has commanded. Let each man gather it according to each one's need, 1 omer for each person, according to the number of persons. Let every man take for those who are in his tents." Then the children of Israel did so and gathered, some more, some less. So when they measured it by omers, he who gathered much had nothing left over, and he who gathered little had no lack. Every man had gathered according to each one's need. Yes, that is the passage, Exodus 16 verses 2 to 18. As usual, the children of Israel were complaining. That was something they were very fond of doing right from when they left Egypt. And the irony is that they were complaining to get out of Egypt. And when they left Egypt and they were in the wilderness, they were complaining that they should have been left in Egypt. What a funny people. We are just like them. So let's not just say, oh, the Israelites. We are also the Israelites, technically speaking. Now, one thing is that if you read the chapter before this, which is chapter 15, you will see that just in that previous chapter, the children of Israel were singing a song of praise. They were singing a song of thanksgiving for what God had done for them. They had just left Egypt, and then they had crossed the Red Sea. And so they were still moving on, moving to the promised land. But then something came up again, and all of a sudden, their thanks were out the window. All of a sudden, they forgot about what had happened. They forgot their testimony. They forgot what had happened before, and they started complaining about their present situation. They were complaining because they were hungry. And one thing they kept saying was, "Why did you not let us remain in Egypt?" I keep talking about these children of Israel, this particular set of people, these people who were the pioneers, who God had single-handedly chosen. God had chosen them from among many nations, but they were known for complaining. They complained every step of the way. They complained that they were in Egypt. God let them get out of Egypt after a long series of plagues. There were 10 plagues that these people saw God met out on the Egyptians because of them. And yet, they had reason to complain. Yet, they did not reflect on what God had done. Yet, they were never satisfied. They were never amazed. They were never blown away. They were never contented. They were never quite appreciative. There was always this hint of murmuring, this hint of complaint, this hint of dissatisfaction. That was who these people were. And we are like them in more ways than one. But there are many things we need to realize as Christians. Complaining is something that God doesn't like. In this verse, in this chapter we've read, we will see that Moses said, "You're not complaining against me. It's not me, it's not Aaron you're complaining against. It is God." And he said he has heard you. So when you're complaining, don't think you're complaining about your situation, you're complaining about your neighbor, you're complaining about your spouse. No, it's God you're complaining about. It's God you're complaining about. You're saying, "Oh, my situation has not changed. Oh, it's so horrible. Oh, I've put my faith. I've done my work. Why is nothing turning around?" What exactly are you asking? What you're actually asking is, how come I have done my part and God has not done his? Is God still reliable? Is God still watching over me? Is God still trustworthy? Can I still believe in God? That is technically what you're asking when you are complaining. Complaints are so bad that they demoralize you. They make you keep seeing only the negative aspects of things. You never remember that life is good. You don't remember how far God has brought you. You don't remember the testimonies you have experienced in the past. You don't remember the good things that God has done for you. All you remember is the negativity, is what you don't have yet, is what you're wishing for, is what you're longing for, is what you're praying for, is the prayer that has not been answered. You don't remember the prayers that have been answered when you are so focused on your complaints. You're so focused on what you don't have. You're so focused on your lamentations. You forget that God has been faithful in the past and God will still be faithful now. And all you need to do is be patient. I have a video here on being patient, the importance of patience. I will put the video link in the description of this one so that you can go and watch it. It's beneath this video. It's going to be in the description of this video. Go and watch that video and learn why you need to be patient. You can't ask God for something and expect that it's automatic. There are some things you have to do. God has to level the path. God has to clear the path. God has to make sure that you are in the right state of mind. You are the right person to receive that blessing. And so God has to fine-tune you. He has to refine you. He has to make situations align. There are so many things that have to be in place before you receive that miracle. Because you don't want it to be a situation where you get there and start saying, "Oh, I could have waited longer." Or "This miracle was not ready." Or "I should have just stayed back a little." You don't want that. You want to go in prepared. You want to go in there and enjoy the miracle. So watch that video that will tell you about the importance of patience, because patience works a lot for us as Christians. Something that many of us do not realize is that when we are complaining, we are actually showing that we are ungrateful. Complaint is a sign of ingratitude, because it's just like saying, "You've done so much. Yes, I appreciate that. But then again, look at what I'm going through now. Look at what I want now. Focus on me. Don't you see where I am now? Forget about what you've done in the past. That's history. That's done. It's okay. That is in the annals of time. Let's talk about the here and now, the present." That's technically what we are telling God. When we start complaining and saying, but I don't have it now. And then somebody says, but God has been good to you in the past. And you say, that is the past. I'm talking about the present. Like, do you hear me? Do you see me? Do you feel me? I'm talking about now. Forget about the past. The past is done. The past is dusted. It's in the annals of time. It's in the history books. Let's talk about today. You are showing ingratitude. You are showing that you do not realize you have a big God. You are showing that you are not thankful for what you have received in the past. You are showing that if God does this one for you now, you are going to say it's in the past. Ask for something new. Start complaining about something new you don't yet have. That's what you're going to do. You're just showing a pattern. A pattern of ingratitude is what you're showing, and God hears you. It's not just the walls. You may be in your room saying, oh, but I'm complaining to myself. I'm murmuring to myself. God is everywhere. God hears you when you speak. God hears you even when you murmur in your heart. You know, we have different ways of murmuring. Some of us are very loud. We're like, oh, please, I didn't get it. Oh, everybody will hear you complaining. Whereas there are some of us that murmur beneath our breath. We're like, nothing is working out. Everything is just so bad. What's going on is so wrong. We are murmuring beneath our breaths. Then there are some of us that say we are very good Christians, and so let's not murmur like the Israelites. The Israelites were audible. Let's say it in our hearts, and we are thinking to ourselves, is God still working? You're just thinking it in your mind. Is God still working? Does he hear my prayers? Are all these things worth it? Is being a Christian worth it? You're saying it to yourself in your mind because you feel that if you vocalize it, you have acted like the children of Israel, so you say it internally. God hears even your thoughts. God knows what you're thinking. You don't even need to say it out loud. He knows what you're thinking. So whether you're murmuring in your heart, whether you're murmuring beneath your breath, whether you're murmuring aloud for everybody, including the deaf, to hear, God doesn't like it because it is a sign of ingratitude. Another thing that complaining is that it is a sign of distrust. Do you know that if you trust somebody, if you believe that somebody will do something for you, you're not going to go about grumbling. You're not going to go about saying, I don't think he can do this thing. Why has he not done it? Is he incompetent? I don't trust him. If you have total trust in God, you will never grumble. You will never complain. Your testimonies, your history with God will be something that you will look back on to show you that God can do it. That God has the power. God has the ability. God can do it. He has done it in the past and he can do it now. All you need to do is pray and wait. Believe. Have faith. Faith is very important. If you want anything, you have to have faith. Jesus told us that we have to have faith. So faith is very important. So when you are complaining and saying, I don't know if this is ever going to happen, you look at it, tomorrow is your birthday and you're so depressed, like, this thing hasn't happened. All these years, am I not getting too old to receive the miracle? Is this miracle not becoming kind of outdated? Is it not becoming stale? This prayer point, I have said it for 20 years. I am tired of repeating it. I'm starting to sound like a broken record to myself. What is going on? Does God not hear me anymore? That is a sign of distrust. Remember what happened with Abraham. Abraham waited and waited and waited and waited for decades for the promised child. That child, Isaac, who was going to be the one that will bring forth the nations. Abraham is the grandfather of nations. He's called the father of nations by the Bible. And it was Isaac that was going to bring forth those nations. Isaac was going to have those sons, who will have their own sons, who will have their own sons, until 1,000 generations and beyond. It was from Abraham. But Abraham waited a long time. It wasn't just automatic. It wasn't a case of, God, I want the son, and the son came, boop. It wasn't like that. It was not like that. It was long. It was dreary. He started to wonder, is this ever going to happen? It was so serious that when an angel came and told Sarah, she laughed. She laughed in disbelief because it was like, come on now, come on, this doesn't make sense. I am past menopause. How is it going to happen? Me? Funny, you are cracking jokes. You crack me up. She laughed. And the angel said to her, "You laughed?" And she said, no, I didn't. Dear angel, I didn't laugh. But in her mind, she was like, please spare me that. Tell me something I don't know. I know about a woman's cycle, and I know that I don't have those cycles anymore. I'm done and dusted with that. So how can I have a son now? Now, it didn't happen when I was in my youth. It didn't happen in my 30s, in my 40s, Okay, let's not talk about my 50s, because I know that once I'm past 50, it's game over. And now I'm like, what? Old and gray. She laughed. But it still happened. So when you are complaining, when you are grumbling, you should know that you are showing God that you don't trust him. Even in human nature, if you're complaining about something, if somebody is probably doing something behind the scenes and you're complaining and saying, but why has it not manifested? Why has it not come to pass? Why has it not? You're complaining about everything. The person is going to say, does this person not believe I'm capable? Does this person not believe my word when I said I'll do it? That is what you're doing to God. God said he will do it. God said, believe in me. God said, ask and you will receive. So why not wait? Since you have asked, why not wait to receive? So complaining is something that is so negative. It's so negative, it demoralizes you, it helps you stop seeing the bright side of life, it makes you stop believing in God, and it makes you forget what God has done. Always remember, anytime you want to complain, zip it up. Don't complain in your heart, don't complain aloud, because God hears you. God knows your thoughts. Remember these three things. Remember who God is. Remember what God has done. And remember what God said. Remember that God said that heaven and earth may pass away, but his word will never pass away. Remember that God is the omnipotent, the omniscient. With him, nothing is impossible. Remember the things that God has done for you in the past. Remember what he has done for your family. Remember how he has saved you. Remember how he provided in the past. Remember how he showed up even when you nearly gave up on that situation in the past. That is the same God. He's the same God of yesterday, today, and forever. So when you're in today, when you're in the present time and you don't have that thing you want, keep believing. Keep trusting that God's character does not fluctuate. God does not change. He is the same God. He hasn't changed and he will not change. He doesn't waver. He's not like human beings that could say, okay, but I'm thinking, okay, but I have a retort, okay, but I'm thinking, okay, but I think I should change my mind. God does not change his mind. God is the one constant that you can trust. Did you hear what I said? God is the one constant that you can trust in every situation. And so there is no need to grumble. There is no need to complain. If you have been complaining over the years, if you're complaining right now saying, but I don't know how it's going to work out, but I have asked, I have prayed, why is it not happening? Believe me when I say God has heard you. Believe me when I say that if God wants it for you, he's going to do it. Believe me when I say that God is working behind the scenes. Remember, his ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. And when God does that thing for you, it's going to be better than you imagined. It will be better than what you prayed for. So keep believing, keep trusting, and stop complaining. Stop it. Stop it so that you don't put God to the test. So it doesn't look like you're telling God, you better prove yourself. God doesn't have to prove himself. So do not put God to the test. Just like the Israelites did at the brook at Meribah. When they were at Meribah, they complained so much about water. And God had to show up. But he was not happy doing it. God was upset doing that. So don't be like the Israelites. Remember, your God has the ability. Your God hears you. Your God is dependable. Your God is faithful. Your God does not sleep or slumber. If he says he will do it, trust in his word that he will do it. You can take his word to the bank. Best believe that if God says that he will do it, he will do it. If this video has blessed you, please drop a comment below. Also, if you enjoyed watching this video and you would like to see more of such videos that will help strengthen your Christian faith, please subscribe to this channel. Simply click the subscribe button and get subscribed to this channel today. It is completely free of charge. Also, do not forget to click the notification button so you'll be notified as soon as I update. Please like this video, give it a thumbs up if it has blessed you. Also, please share this video with family, friends, and everyone so that they watch it and start building their trust in God instead of complaining over everything. I have a playlist here for you in the description of this video. Go check out that playlist as well as the video that I mentioned earlier on having patience. Thank you very much for watching this video to the very end. Thank you for giving me your time. Wherever you are, whatever you do, let your light so shine. I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now. Please subscribe, click the notification button, like this channel, share our videos, and follow us on social media. Thank you very much.